Grief has an early stage and a late stage. Knowing what those are could be very helpful for you to let you know if you are moving forward toward your goal of recovery. In an early stage of grief, it's raw. You draw inward and you look backwards. In the later stage, grief is tamer. You face outward and you look forward. Early stage grief for some people produces howling, shrieking, screaming, a massive pain, can reduce somebody to a vegetative state or a destructive, combative state. For boomers particularly, it may be none of that. You may just feel physically ill. You're extremely tired, you're laying in bed, you're unmotivated, and you think that maybe something is wrong with you, that you should perhaps go to the doctor and get a physical. When you're in the early stage of grief, also it's very difficult to take in new information, can't learn new things, and you experience intrusive, repetitive thoughts and images. Later stage grief, your rational mind begins to exert greater influence again over your emotions and your behavior, and you feel more in charge of your grief. In the early stages of grief, following a significant loss, even the idea of getting better may feel offensive. You may have no desire for recovery, and you sense that your grief is your most vital connection to your loved one. In later stages, you're able to separate the grief from the love and realize that the pain and the love are connected, but they're not the same thing. And you'll begin to learn how to reduce the pain while maintaining the love. In fact, for some people, the love shines through much brighter as the pain recedes. Early stages, you're not interested in self-help, and you may not be interested in anybody else's help either, and that people's attempts to help, connect, or understand feel like crude, rude intrusions into your life. Tools and efforts to comfort may feel offensive, and you have little interest or ability to use self-help tools. In later stages, self-help tools are much more effective, and you're much more receptive to other people's help and comfort. In the later stage of grief, you're much more open to feeling comforted by another person, hearing what they have to say, or letting them reflect back to you and acknowledging that they understand that you are in pain, particularly if that helper is not trying to fix you or diminish your pain. In early stage grief, pain and suffering may feel like the same thing. We've all heard the platitude that pain is inevitable and suffering optional. But in early stage grief, that just feels like that's misguided information, because pain and suffering are so interconnected. As you move into the later stage grief, though, you realize that yes, the pain is inevitable, but the suffering you're feeling is partially caused by what your mind is doing with that pain, and that some of the choices you're making may be contributing to your suffering. In later stage grief, you kind of develop a plan, or you implement a plan to lessen or eliminate your suffering. Recovery brings a type of transformation. In early grief, you're on a threshold of ambiguity. You don't know what's next in your life. As you move into recovery in the later phase of grief, you accept your life's no longer how it once was, and you understand the need to build a changed life. Thank you for watching my video. Please check out my other OKBoomerfriend videos for insights and information to assist you in aging and retirement.